Hi all, welcome back to D-Day at Tarawa. This is my part 18. About to start turn 10. Oh, oh yeah, I'm about to start turn 10 actually. That's not the end. So that ends the first wave scenario. So am I right in saying you would have until the end of this turn to gather up the 10 positions? It looks like I would be quite comfortable then. I'll tell you one thing I was wondering about though. I was talking about having these positions secured, and I've not had a look in the rules yet, and I just don't recall coming across anything. But these positions are a position group, joint 3 positions, and although it's only steady purple fire into there, I would suggest that we control this one. So we have this one secured. These two, because purple intense fires into there, means that these are not secured. I'm just wondering if the fact that they're all a position group, does that maybe mean that this isn't secured because of that? I seem to recall something like that caught me out in Omaha. Now, where would I find that? Position groups. There is a bit of talk about position groups, isn't there? Yeah, so here we go. So this is maybe where I've got things wrong. I'm just uploading part 17, but I was going to leave a bit of a comment in the header because I started doubting that that I had the points that I had because of that maybe. It says here, this is on page 11, 6.21 position groups. Positions, I always like to maybe just chuck myself over at the errata there. Yeah, positions with 2 or more component position hexes, such as E1 and E2. And remember, there's some with 3, the one that we're just looking at, the red one, and there's actually one, the brown one in the middle there has got 4, isn't it? But anyway, it does say 2 or more, are considered one position and have one field of fire. Well, I knew that, even when some hexes in the position are occupied, some are not. So if they're considered one position, okay, and the definition is secured as defined here, I think. Again, I'm just glancing at, and this is the one. Yeah, this is the one that does have a correction. And by the way, it must have been really hard. That's such a huge change, that one, isn't it? That second bullet there. Anyway, at the conclusion of turn 10, this is talking about the first wave. So at the conclusion of turn 10, which admittedly I thought was there, but we're just starting turn 10. Determine if you win or lose a scenario. You win if 10 or more Japanese position, it does say position hexes there, are secured by your forces. A position, and now it doesn't say position hex. I mean, you've got to assume it's still meaning position hexes. It says position hexes there, and then it says a position is secure if all 3 of these requirements are met. Alright, and then it talks position hex again. So the position hex is occupied by a US unit or garrison. Okay. All position hexes projecting a printed field of fire. Right, and this is the one that should say an intense printed field of fire. So all position hexes projecting intense fire into that hex are also occupied by US units or garrisons. And US communication can be traced from the position. Yeah, and I think this is where some of the bits can be, maybe I'm being picky here, but sometimes it talks position, sometimes it talks position hex, but it did say back there when it's talking about a position group, it talks about the whole position group being one position. I mean, a position hex, that's pretty straightforward, isn't it? It's one of the position group. It's one of the hexes, so that seems fine to me. So it does look like that's okay then. So I did kind of wonder. Because again, coming back to this, there's three red position hexes in this position group. And the definition of position group is it's all one position. So if I want to consider this secure, but the word in there says the position hex is occupied by using or garrison. And basically, as long as it's not got intense field of fire coming from another position, that's fine. So yeah, maybe that is okay. Maybe everything's good with that. Well, I won't put any comment in that video, the previous video, and obviously this will be in the start of this video, so we'll find out, won't we? Better finding out now before it matters to me at the end, if I do have something wrong with that. But I don't think I've come across anything else that talks about the fact that, you know, if a position group, you need to secure the fire from them all. You need to secure the hex from them all before you score one. But that's what happened in Omaha, wasn't it? Was it not the WN positions? To get them, you had to have the two of them, didn't you? It was something like that, wasn't it? And I started along the lines of getting that wrong. And fortunately, I think Martin straightened me out, or maybe John Brown straightened me out to the fact that you better watch, because that's not quite, you've not got that yet until you secure the both of them. But it does seem like just what I'm reading there, unless there's another bit. If there is, please let me know, like I say, because come turn 15 it could all go down the drain if I've got it wrong. My thinking of it's wrong. Okay. Right, there was two other little things I wanted to talk about. I've not had any more comments, yeah. I just released a couple of parts today. I was on the train again today going straight to see my mum, so I managed to watch the rest of 14, 15 and 16. No, sorry. The rest of 15, 16 and 17. I was just uploading 17 just now, so it'll be there shortly. So watching it back, I noticed a couple of, well, whether you could call them mistakes or not, this one here, I don't know about this, to be honest. This had been here, and we put that smaller tank, it was in here, I think, and we moved it 2 hexes into there. The one-step tank unit. And I was in command of the HQ, and I thought, right, that could have had a barrage shot at that. We used the bigger tank for that, but it could have had a barrage shot at that. But what I thought was, why did I not maybe move that HQ into there rather than the tank? I mean, I don't know. I know there's risk with that now. There's risk with that there. I've already said I think closing in on the last part there was that if this tank fires in purple, and if it's just some kind of normal fire, well, yeah, the tank will just fire. And if it's fire with a star on it, that's getting hit. It's not going to hit. There's no other targets. So, okay, I mean, purple with a star on it, but I mean, you know, they are out there. So it's risky, but I just felt, I put the tank in there and then the tank got hit, and then I moved the HQ into there, and I thought, why did I not just move the HQ into there in the first place and keep the tank alive? I could have moved the tank in there so they were still in. I could have moved that in there, or I could have attempted a barrage shot. Well, I think we used this guy to barrage that guy, didn't we? That was a success, admittedly. But he could have barraged something. You know, we could have had a shot at it. Remember, he was only he was only 2 strengths, so it would have been colour and symbol to try and barrage any of these two. But I don't know. I don't know about like I've said, now if this position fires, at least there's a couple other, well no, that's true because it is a tank, so there is another couple of targets for it before. So if we get yellow firing with a star, the thing is, if it's a star, yeah, that's a problem. If it's a star, Grant, it's not going to have another. No, what are you talking about? Sorry, the symbol's separate. Yeah, I'm talking rubbish. Sorry. You know, if it's a yellow star, but it's got a diamond or a circle on it, then it's going to hit one of these before it hits that. It always prioritises, the leader will always get hit last. However, if it was a triangle on it, that guy's going to take it again. And I can't remember what happens to him. I want to say they go on the turn track 2 turns ahead or something, but that's devastating because then they've got to drift the shore and yeah, they've got to weigh the shore, haven't they? I think. I don't think they can benefit from... Well, maybe they can, actually. Maybe they can get an LVT to bring them in. Yeah, they probably could, because that would be extra brutal if you had to wait in them wading ashore. Anyway, so I don't know. Maybe anybody's got any thoughts of that? I mean, is this silly? I don't want this reinforcing. Not just reinforcing, because if I leave that there, not just reinforcing, both the tanks have got a perfect advance into that hex, right? Or there's a reinforce action, or there's a redeploy. This guy could redeploy into here. So there's lots of things that could happen. I don't know. Is it worth the risk with the HQ though? Anyway, I've done it now, so that'll be that. And the other one was on here, and again, I don't know if you could call this really a mistake, because what I did was I barraged this tank and we missed. But this guy was sitting in intense brown. Okay, this was disrupted at the time I'd done it. So it seemed like a good play, but now he's undisrupted. And I thought, what I could have actually done was, I didn't need to move this. It was this tank here. What I could have done was move that tank into there. I could have had the attempted barrage on that with that. I would only needed red. You know, I mean, this I needed red or the triangle, so it gave me a better shot at it. But just needing the colours should be good enough. And then move this guy into here, into a safer position. Not an intense brown, but so I feel like that was a bit of a blunder there. But however, again, it's done now. So kind of don't want brown on the Japanese fire card. However, the big one I don't want is purple. I don't want this guy firing. I mean, we've got our bases covered. Well, I say we've got them covered because we've got 2 units there. He can only hit 1. So, all going well, and we're going to get to pick which one it's hit because they're both 3 steps. They're both as close. It's our choice. We're going to take the hit on that guy. He'll be disrupted. Then we've still got this guy to attack with the support from the tank, which we'll need an action for. So, which is nice, but I'd prefer not to have purple fire at all, and then we've not got that issue. So one colour I really don't want on a Japanese fire card. Probably not a good idea to be talking about that. I have to say that purple, it might have come up early in the game, but it's been kind of scarce, I think. It's not a colour that's showing up. Mind you, we must have had it here, didn't we, when we had that situation. So maybe I'm just blathering rubbish there. Right, okay, let's move on with things. Start of the turn. Well, we've no landing as such, just the wading of ashore again. Nothing new to set up. So yeah, let's do that first. Right, so well, for this guy, I think we want to keep out of here. This area is red and blue, which fair enough, red's going to fire, but blue's controlled by us, so the only risk in here is red, whereas you've got greens and yellows. This in particular, this is the green. I want to say the yellow is controlled by us as well. But that blue as well, I think, comes from here, doesn't it? No, that's brown, Grant. Brown must be cut back a bit. Anyway, it does look like this is a safer bit. I mean, rather than moving into that hex, I'd be better moving into that hex, wouldn't I? So it means I'm kind of coming across, but I'm still getting closer to the shore, so no problems there. So 1-2 for that guy. Yeah, I kind of do what's there. So 1-2 and then 1-2. So that will mean these two. See, these two will now be forced into going in there and landing, won't they? Which is fine. This guy. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. And these two can now move into this position in the water, which is only covered by blue, which we control, so they're going to be kind of safe. Now, did I not say... Yeah, I said I wanted this guy in here, but he's... Oh no, he's not a hex behind, he's fine. 1, 2... So he will be able to land in there next turn. And then 1, 2... So next turn he lands in there, he lands in there. We could then next turn have an attack on that, assuming this guy doesn't get hit. And then this could support it with a ranged fire. Okay, sounds okay. Right, and then across here we'll... Oh man. Yuck. Right, I didn't notice this guy. That's annoying too. This is one of my engineers. He's only got 1 step as well. This is one of my support engineers. But I think he's got to land in here. Well, maybe now I need confirmation of this. Because again, watching back in the footage where I noticed that it says... What is it? You reach a beach hex if possible, but then Martin also said I don't need to move 2 hexes closer to the beach as long as I'm moving closer. I still tend to feel like I've got to move the 2 hexes, whereas I don't want to move in there. Well, that stayed disrupted. That was good. Because yeah, I was watching a little bit of this as well, and I thought, why did I move the 2 strength unit away? Would that not have been better here? They're both 1 step anyway. It wouldn't have mattered to me having a concentrated target, because if I do move that in there, they're 5 steps either way. But I did think I could have moved that one in, and if I'd had that, well, 5 strength's better than 4. I mean, to be honest, you only need 4 for this guy. But I think I'm better going and attacking with these 2. So I think this should move into here. And this, yeah, I suppose should move into there, shouldn't it? But this guy means he's moving into there, which sucks. I wonder. I don't know if it's the last bit of video footage or not, or if it's the one before that I talk about this. It probably is the last bit. Well, it might not be actually, because it would be when I was landing, when I was wading ashore. So, well, no matter what, I think this has got to go in here. That does mean that we are concentrated there, but it's only yellow that fires into there, and he's disrupted. So that's nice. And then him into there. Yeah, that's a point. No, where did he come? He came from there. Yeah, I said that already. I can't reach that hex with him, because it'd be 3 away. Because I'm thinking he could fire from range, couldn't he? But no, that's fine. Let's just do it that way, and then he goes in there. So they're both sitting in steady yellow, these stacks, and the position's disrupted. So all good there. But I think this guy's got to go into here. But if it was possible for me to delay it and just go 1, 2, I would do that. However, I would then need to move something so I could move next. But maybe I will go and ask this question then. To be honest, I could just actually add a follow up to my. Oh no, you mentioned it on YouTube, didn't you? It was on my YouTube. It was a comment on about the video about the move. You don't need to move 2 hexes closer. Maybe I'll actually do a research first, just in case. Right, be back in a bit. Yeah, I'm going to have to conclude that this guy does have to reach the beach. There was one question out there which would have resolved, well, what Martin confirmed to me at first, that they don't need to actually move 2 hexes closer when they're moving. And it was answered by John Butterfield. It was back quite a few years ago, 2016, I think. But the guy was asking, assuming you can't reach the beach, do you need to move, as close as possible to the beach? And Mr. Butterfield says no. It says as long as you move closer, as in 1 hex closer, you could then move sideways. So he didn't mention anything in that post about the guy was seeming to suggest that if you can reach the beach, you've got to, because it does say, doesn't it? It does say. It doesn't sort of spell it as a must, but it says if possible, I think, which is probably good enough. Like Grant, I think you're trying to read things in your way again. Let me just see the actual wording again. You move every unit in a water hex 2 hexes in a direction that takes the unit closer to a beach hex, entering a beach hex if possible. So, yeah, if you can reach the beach, you've got to do it. Because why would it say it there? Why could I be able to go 1, 2 like that and say, right, I move 1 hex closer? Because it's telling me I can reach the beach. Bugger. Right, okay. That's it. I think I've got to do it. Well, we kind of don't want green turning up now as well. That's 3 colours we don't want. Brown, green and purple. Yeah, good luck with that, Grant. Okay, well, we're shortly to find out, aren't we? Well, event to come in between. Oh, a smoke event would be nice. Maybe stop some of that. Mind you, the purple position's inland, so... we are on turn... Yeah, we're on turn 10, so we're still skipping the second event and the US Engineer and HQ phase. That's going to happen next turn, though. So... and that happens before the... That happens before the US action phase, Grant. So let's be aware of that and let's get set up for that. And by that, I mean... Well, I'm kind of really hoping this guy stays alive now. That's annoying. Why did I not spot that as I was coming down? I could have moved him, couldn't I? To avoid that hex, all I needed to do was, as he was coming in, just do what Martin says, or what John confirmed, that they can move laterally. When he was... So he must have been there. Before that, I think he was there. Why not go like that? And then he's not able to reach the beach next time we go... Well, either we could go like that, or we could go like that, and then hopefully we make a space for him landing there. That's rotten. Oh, yeah, you've done it now. You can't go back with that. I can't even remember how he must have moved. He could have started there, so he's actually moved to the pier. Why did I do that? Yeah, I've not thought about that carefully enough. To be honest, I didn't really know about when Martin confirmed about you don't need to move 2 hexes forward, so there is that. But however, I still could have, I think, manoeuvred myself slightly that way to avoid landing in this hex. Because I didn't even give myself a chance at landing in this. Even if this was full, I didn't even give myself a shot at it, Damn. Right, anyway, well, he's in the lap of the gods, really. But the other one, there's 2 other ones that are relevant. This guy here, so I want to move this guy back down onto the beach this turn, for sure, because he needs to be in the beach come turn 11, come the US Engineering HQ phase to benefit. And also we've got this guy here who wants to do the same, which is fine. Well, no, it's not that fine, actually. I mean, that's a paid action. This one here is going to be a freebie. That's a paid action, but I really kind of want to get that done. Let's just double check that. Yeah, so when that phase kicks in, US Engineering HQ phase, I get to take a support marker for each eligible engineer unit with support capability in a beach hex. So that's why they need to get down there just now. They need to get on the beach. They also need to be not in the field of fire, wasn't that? Where does it tell you how you get them? It says eligible engineer with support capability and a beach hex. Oh, here we go, I think. During the US engineering HQ phase of each turn, you receive one support marker for each engineer unit with support capability and a beach hex from which it can trace US communication and not in an enemy field of fire. And that gives you an example there. So we've got to make sure that we also move them not into an enemy field of fire. Well, that's fine. Both of the guys are not going to be, so that's pretty good. However, the other guy I've just landed on the beach, if he happens to survive, he's not going to get one anyway. But, well, if he survives, I'll be want to try and move. I get the feeling I want lots of actions next turn. There's probably lots of things I want to do this turn. Oh dear, that guy is well separate from the HQ. Well, that's another event we could get. Give us extra action. That might help this turn. And then, sorry, going back to that page they are telling you about it. So we take a support marker for each eligible engineer unit with support capability. So it looks like I'm going to get 2 support markers. And then we spend those markers to place garrison markers in eligible position hexes or to remove disruption marker from US units. And then 3, we convert HQ units to command posts and increase the command range of previously established command posts. Right. I want to say they need to be not in a field of fire as well. So, well, actually, that might mean I want to move my HQ back. This guy here. Back, because that's not in an enemy field of fire, where this is, and the reason it is because of these tanks. But in there, he would not be. But then, would I want to establish a command post there? They go, where is the range thing? Ah, it's up there. This orange bar here. Yeah, it goes right up to 5. So from there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm not getting up to these. It's going to gather some of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We get that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We get these 2 positions. It just, well, we get up to there for its command, I suppose it's maybe not awful, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stretches right along to there. Doesn't get up to this brown position, but then I need to work in more inland, and which means I need to take these positions out or these tanks, So maybe I should just establish it there and be done with it. And then you can always move it again, can't you? It's not a great idea to do that, but I mean, if it's along there, established there, this one's going to be harder to establish. I mean, I could, no you can't, because there's this yellow position, and I want to say it doesn't matter if it's disrupted either. Although I've not fully read the rules for that, but I want to say that probably is the case. So, yeah, it's going to be harder establishing that one. Well, that could be a good hex if you can get rid of this tank. Which I was looking at thinking, maybe we should be try to have a go at that tank. This guy could possibly 2 hex move along into there. This turn. Anyway, right, I'm getting away ahead of myself, I don't know. So yeah, I did just want to check about the engineers, but so yeah, it tells you the 3 things you do in the phase. So let's just see about establishing what you do. Use of a support marker, really. Let's try and get rid of that glare. There we go. So it says you may spend support markers to benefit your forces in any of 4 ways: to place a garrison marker in a position hex, thus making the hex US occupied. And it tells you how to do that further on. We won't go into that. I want to say it needs to be not in the field of fire, but to remove disruption from one US unit, to enable a US unit to perform an action for free, okay, or to provide a wildcard tactic in the US attack. So they're really good to have. So we want as many as we can get. And yeah, we'll look at garrisons to that later then. The bottom line is we want to get the 2 engineer units down on the beach if we can. Well, this one's fine. It's a no-brainer because it's a free move. The other one's a paid-for move. And the fact that I'm seeing other things about, well, we're going to have to wait and see. I mean, if green fires at that and takes it out, then that's that done, isn't it? Okay, so we're on the event phase, aren't we? Oh, damn. Right, give me a sec. Right, I rescued that. Don't want to leave it lying on the floor. In case there's little dogs about. Well, there's not just now, but... okay, so event. Right, we could do a good one. Well, as always. This is turn 10. Yeah, I want to say they probably change up a little in turn 11. So, this is probably still the first box. But anyway, here we go. It is 2 to 10. Oh, Rear Admiral Shibazaki killed by naval fire. Well, I think that's good, isn't it? Yeah, I want to say it's bad when he's still around. And I think this is one of the optional rules that you can ignore that event and have him not be killed or something. Okay. I think later on we'll see how good that is. I'm pretty sure it's a good thing to have happen. It probably doesn't do anything just now. But there you go, he gets flipped over now and he's killed. And that is that. I think we'll be pleased about that in the future. Even though right now we could maybe do with some other things like another US action here, or what was the other thing I was looking for? Smoke maybe. But yeah. You need to have the smoke landing in the right places as well. Okay, right, shall we have a Japanese fire card? Oh, look, there's no purple on that. There was green, but there's no brown on it either. Oh, no. No purple or no brown on that card. Right, well, there's nothing you can do in between, Grant. You can't draw any more cards. You're just going to have to draw it. So here we go. Right, well, I'll just shim it along here. And we'll draw the card. So we really don't want purple. We don't really want brown. And we don't really want green. So here we go. Oh, we've got brown and green, but we've not got purple. The green's got a star on it. Oh, yeah, just looking up at my leader there. It's not green fire. Yeah. Oh no. Oh, look at the browns are double. And he built depth not that long ago, didn't he? Damn. Careful, Grant. And it's the eye action, so he's going to fire. He's going to fire. He's not going to do anything else. He's going to hit that tank. Damn. Okay, letter-wise, we've got an A. I suppose we do have 2 double colours, which is pretty good. Letter-wise, we've got the A only. Green hitting leaders, like I say, which could have been nasty, but the 2 positions that were threatening our leader here were in yellow and purple. So, yeah, it just shows you. It's been typical me talking about it, and excuse me, a purple star or a yellow star came up. Okay, and yeah, A is only word action, like I say. So, right, well, okay, that's what it is. And you just need to get on with it, Grant. Okay, so the only word actions on A. So unoccupied A's. Well, coastal unoccupied A is no action. inland unoccupied A would be the ambush action. But it needs to be within 2 hexes. Okay. So what we got? We got purple up here, we've got green here, and yeah, we only need to... Oh, we really need to be looking at a double yellow for anything fancy happening. Brown needs to be a double. Was brown getting there? It was not. Yeah, I remember that. So they need to be double anyway. So nothing doing. Purple. Yeah. So he's not firing. So we're going to get a free do what we want with that guy. This is unoccupied A. But no. Let's say it's the I action that doesn't need to be in communication, isn't it? Yeah, infiltrate, place reserve unit in position, if not in Japanese communication. See, when we get that I action up, well, actually, hang on. That's not. That is occupied though, because we've got one half of it, haven't we? Again, nobody's come and said no to that, so I think I've got it right. You know, the fact that this position is occupied. Yeah, I had to leave a comment when I was talking about the position we took out here. Where was he? He was in here, wasn't he? Yeah, and we were surrounding him, about to fire at him and that. And I was saying, because the other red position wasn't occupied, and I was saying that it was one of our units that was in it, so surely that meant it was occupied, but it wasn't. It was a Japanese unit. I don't know why. It's clearly a yellow disrupted marker. So I don't know what I was thinking there. However, maybe the question would have still got through there in case I was getting it wrong. That, you know, do we occupy this? Is this occupied? Right? If it was a Japanese unit, I know it is. Well, that's my belief. However, if it's a US unit, is that occupied? I still kind of think yes, because it's already said in the description of position group that it is one position. But then this position hex is not occupied. And this is where I think there's always been a bit of confusion regarding when position groups, the wording of that, I think could have been a bit clearer. And I want to say in all three of the games, I think. All three of the original games, whether they, to be honest, well, I don't know. Iwo Jima and Saipan's a mess anyway, so let's not go there. Right. So the I action, well, we've not got the I action out anyway yet. But it is one that it needs to be not in Japanese communication. It needs to be empty, needs to be unoccupied, and it needs to have US units within 2 hexes, but it needs to not be in Japanese communication. If it is in Japanese communication, it doesn't count, I believe. Okay, well, we've not got that yet. We'll get that next turn. So moving on. Looking at this, if this was classed as empty, it's within 2, it would ambush, but see, it says unoccupied in Japanese communication and within 2 hexes. That is not in Japanese communication. So if for some reason this is considered, I'm going to have to find this out, I'm gonna. That if this is classed as occupying this. You could do a little search. I'm sure there's been some questions about that out there. Right, I'm just browsing just doing a little search of BGG, and this came up, which worried me at first, but then I read it. The guy was asking if the unit could redeploy. It does say an unoccupied position hex within 3 hexes, and he was saying could it deploy to the position group could have another unit in it, but the position hex is empty. This yellow position here, for instance, could it redeploy to this that says unoccupied, but it does say unoccupied position hex. So again, if it said unoccupied position, I would have said no. But this is what I'm trying to make sure I establish before before we carry on and start making blunders. Okay, I don't think it's had any effect up to now, but okay, I think this is the thread that we need. There was another question, and I think it was Martin linked this thread as the sort of, because Mr. Butterfield's in here as well. I mean, I know this is back in 2015. Well, actually, I don't have the comments, so get later. It looks like the original question might have been deleted. Yeah, I think the very last thread says, oh no, it wasn't this one. Sorry, my bad. Right, okay, that was another one I'm thinking of. So the guy's saying there's an ambiguity in the rules as to meaning of position, because of rule 6.21 C 8.32. If there is a US unit adjacent to only the end hex of a 3-position group and only the nearest hex of that position group is occupied, and the Japanese action calls for reinforcement in unoccupied positions, should I put reinforcements in the empty position group hexes if they are within 2 hexes of my US unit and in communication, or is the position considered occupied because the Japanese fire table is referring to position group? Has to be occupied or not. This is Kurt replying. He says, has to be occupied or not. I believe each position hex is checked. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to skip by this, and I'm just going to look at Mr. Butterfield's response here, because I think this explains that, apart from the US occupying hexes, but further down it does. So, hi folks, there have been several questions on the rules for position groups. I'm not sure I understand all the issues. Let me know if the following clarifies things or if there are other items to address. If you can see that all right. If any position hexes in a Japanese position group are occupied by Japanese units, the position is considered occupied when determining which action the position conducts during the Japanese action phase. So right there he's saying any of these positions, any hexes in a position group are occupied, the position's considered occupied. Which is what I thought, okay? Therefore, a Japanese position group with only one of its 3 position hexes occupied by a Japanese unit is not eligible to conduct a reinforce or muster action. And that, if we just flick up to there, well, this one's got 4 positions, but this is occupied. They cannot reinforce or muster on any of these hexes, because it's a Japanese unit there. This cannot reinforce or muster, neither can that. The position group has a Japanese unit in it. So good stuff, right? A position group that is completely unoccupied by Japanese units receives a unit and a depth marker in just one unoccupied position hex when eligible to perform the reinforced action. Right, yes. We've done that already. We had 2 positions, and what was the lower number it goes to, doesn't it? Which is in the rule. A position group that is completely unoccupied by Japanese units receives a unit and no depth marker in every unoccupied position hex in the group when eligible to perform the muster action. Well, we haven't looked at the muster action yet, but I assume that's what it says it in the rules, that it's all the positions that. Just a quick glance. Muster, where are you? Muster action. If multiple hexes in a position group are eligible for the muster action, place reserve units in all eligible hexes. So, if the muster action comes up here in brown, nothing gets placed because this is occupied. If it was to happen now, right, all these positions would receive an enemy unit, a Japanese unit. That's what that's saying, I think. Let's say we'll get to the muster action when it comes up. Right, so we had that. So then I thought, well, yeah, what about the US unit though? But I think this guy's asking, my question is, if a US unit occupies a hex in a 2 or 3 position group with no Japanese unit, what happens in reinforce or muster phase? The position is US occupied, does it count? So what it's saying is, what we're asking here, the yellow position along that we're looking at. Hang on. This here, I mean, okay, this isn't in communication, we know that, but if it was, we've got a US unit in one half of the position group. If this is in communication, is it eligible to muster or reinforce? You know? Right, and rather than look at, we're getting nothing happens there, but rather than look at that, let's find the main man's response. If no position hexes in a position group are occupied by Japanese units, that position group is considered unoccupied for purposes of conducting Japanese action, even if some, but not all of those position hexes are occupied by US units. Ah, well, there you go then. So that is considered... So if no position hexes in a position group are occupied by Japanese units, that position group is considered unoccupied. Okay. Yeah, the statement is not intended as a change. It's always been the intention of the design of the D-Day game series that if a US unit occupies one hex of a position group, an enemy unit can appear in an unoccupied position hex of that position group as long as the enemy communication can be traced to the position hex. Yeah, well, in actual fact, the infiltrate action is going to change that bit about as well, because that needs to not be in Japanese communication. Okay, so looking back at here, right, that's probably something I should have looked up before we started to make all that clear, just to... Now it's clear, it's fine, it's clear as day. Yeah, we'll see. So we've got one... We're occupying one hex of this yellow position group. So this is unoccupied. Regarding the Japanese, this is unoccupied. They can try and do something with this hex. If this was a Japanese unit here, then it's occupied. Right? So this could reinforce, this could muster. Well, it can in the situation we've got, because you can't trace communication to that hex. This is the same. This could reinforce and muster if it was in communication. It's not. However, come the I action, these positions are not in... They're not in Japanese communication, which is what the infiltrate action wants, and they're considered unoccupied and within 2 hexes of a US unit. So you need to watch that. And that's probably why the I action comes up last. Just to give you a bit of time to try and stop these shenanigans. Okay, good stuff. We've got it. We know what we're doing. Right, move on, Grant. Well, where was I? Had I got anywhere? Had we started doing the fire phase? Have we done anything? I think we got to here and we were just wondering, yeah, because this would be an ambush action. Ambush action, and it says unoccupied. It says unoccupied within 2 hexes of a US unit. However, it needs to be in Japanese communication. This is unoccupied within 2 hexes of a US unit. So we've found that out now. And however, it's not in Japanese communication, so it won't ambush. Right, good. Moving on. I'm along here a bit. Right, so that was purple. Yeah, empties need to be... That's just a single yellow, right? That's fine. This is green, so it's just going to fire. Normal fire. This guy's not sitting in green, is it? It's just yellow, isn't it? Yeah. So no green. It's a bit of an odd one, that, actually. Well, it only fires out that way to these 3 hexes, and then he fires there, doesn't go in there, and then he hold on, no, this is the other half of the position, isn't it? That's why it stretches down there. Maybe a little odd, it doesn't go into this hex. Anyway, it's not there. Ooh, there is another one up there. It's not that one. No, it's... I want to say it's a purple one. The red one I marked in. There's a purple one that's missing. I need to watch out for that. Pretty sure it's purple. Because I think I marked it with a Sharpie and then it wore out. The problem is I can't really mark it because I suppose you can mark it on top of the plexi. Can't remember which hex it was. Right, okay, so green's not hitting anything. And there's nothing in the water for it anymore. Green just goes to here, so these guys are just on the right side of it, which is just as well, because that's a diamond. And red and blue are not firing. Well, it's red. It's only red we need to worry about, but red's not on the card, so that's good. Things looking good, but yeah, we shall see. Blue's not on the card. Brown is on the card, but it's a double, so that's not doing anything. And we come along here. This is purple, not on the card. This is yellow. It's only a single. Yeah, having the doubles when you've only got single. I'm just that brown that got the depth. That's a shame. Anyway, right. This is brown again. It's a single. This is blue, not on the card. This is a red, and it's doubled there, but not on the card for the red. This is red, not on the card, right? What about... Oh, here we go. Here we go. A, right, so this is a double A. Right, for the tank, an A is going to be the double advance or fire. Right, we've done this one before. Thing is, it's got you... Oh, it's going to hit this tank. Damn it. Yeah, it's going to hit this tank. The double advance or fire says that conduct an advance is described in the default action above. If the tank unit is able to complete an advance, but it can't because the default action for it's firing. Well, yeah, no, sorry, because advance says if no US units are in the tank's field of fire. Well, that's a lie. These units are in this tank's field of fire, so it's going to fire. It says that double advance or fire. If the tank unit is unable to advance at all via this action, fire. So it's going to fire and hit this tank. Yeah, it's not. That's not firing in the water. It's inland. So that was another one of our full strength tanks going down. That's a pig because he was set up to maybe barrage that again because that's going to undisrupt. Although I'm getting a shot of that this turn, so maybe that doesn't matter. Okay, so that's him done his thing. Where are we now? Purple is not on the card. Green, this would just do a normal fire. I'll try and bring the card up so we can see. Just do normal fire, but nothing in its field of fire. And then, yeah, down here we've got green. Ah, yeah, he's going to hit this, isn't he? Yeah. Yeah, that's a shame because I messed that up, didn't I? I don't think there was any need for me to have this guy landing in that hex. Oh well. Right, so green, he's going to fire, he's going to hit leaders. This is not in green. Oops. Yeah, I would have actually preferred these to be the other way about even. Because we're going to start getting support markers for this. Well, we're not going to get support marker for that. Sadly. So this guy's gone. How many of them have we lost? There's another one. Well, that's two of the SP ones and 2 of the flamethrower ones we've lost. Okay, so he hits that. He doesn't have another target in green. It doesn't come across this side. It's just the side of the pier. There's nothing else in the water. Nothing in his field of fire. So, yeah, that's that. The damage is done. Okay, this is in purple. This is in yellow. It's only a single, though. This is in red. Yeah, that would have been kind of bad, too, wouldn't it? So, all good. Yeah, but we're getting... Yeah, our other full strength tank's getting hit, isn't it? This is in purple. Right, what? Just careful we're not skipping by any empty yellows. And again, this is the double yellow, but it's disrupted, so that's going to undisrupt. This is not an empty yellow, remember, because the Japanese unit, that's the bit we've just had worked out. So there's nothing empty within 2. This is in purple, that's fine. This is in brown, so we are going to get, it's a double, unfortunately. So it's going to fire twice in brown. This is an intense, so it's going to, oh, don't tell me. Oh, it's getting another tank as well. Oh no, it's not. That would need the armour symbol. Whew, that was close. Right, so that's in brown too. Right, so yeah, of course the brown comes right along, doesn't it? This is an intense field of fire, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't need to have the armour symbol. So this takes a hit and is disrupted. And then it's still got one more hit to dish out. So it would fire here and it's steady fire, matching the symbol. However, it doesn't have it would need the armour symbol and steady fire. That's right, isn't it? Steady fire, non-armoured US units with the target symbol lose a step. Yeah, so it would need to have the armour symbol on the card under brown. So it did hit that, did disrupt that because it's unrevealed, and yeah, that was I thought I was losing mother tank as well. This is unoccupied, but it's not within 3. This is red. This is blue, not on the card. Purple, red. This is occupied, but it's not got a double because we need a double A. So nothing doing. This is brown. It's not double. This is green. That would just do normal fire, and there's nothing in its field of fire. Oh yeah, and I hadn't even noticed that there's no artillery on that. I hadn't looked. Okay. Well, there was good and bad to that, wasn't there? Lost this guy, which was my own foolishness, I think. What was his symbol actually? Oh, I can't remember. He was a circle, wasn't he? Well, I've got one that's a circle in there with the SP. And one that's a triangle. So we had a diamond on the card. So, yeah, we would have got away. So I'm just thinking if he'd still been in the water here, it would have attacked the symbol. But if it was a triangle or a circle, it wouldn't have hit him. Yeah, well. And then, of course, this tank taking a hit. The other tank taking a hit. Yeah, I don't know. There's always going to be some bad, but it feels like it went okay. Right, so on disruption, we've got yellow here. In fact, I think that's the only Japanese unit that is disrupted. Yeah, which is fine because I'm going to have a bash at that guy. And I really kind of need to make sure because we're concentrating this hex. I think we'll just that's a spent action as well, remember. I'm going to be tight for actions this action phase anyway, for sure. Right, that's Japanese fire card. We're not on turn 11 just yet. So we're not going to have an event. We're just going to move straight to the US action phase. So next turn we will get another event and then we'll get the engineer phase as well. Okay, so we need to remember, get the guys, the SP engineers down on the beach, if we can. Yeah, let's see. Right, I'm going to cut that now, but I'm going to come straight back for another bit, but that's about an hour, so we'll come back and we'll do the US action phase in the next part. Okay, cheers.